Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Froe Show. My name is Frank Mencken and I'm joined, as always, by my beautiful co-host, Joe Murray.
Hello, Frank.
Hello. I'm doing the thing with a stick.
Yeah.
Welcome to the socially distanced episode.
Lockdown episode.
The lockdown episode. We are still filming.
Yes.
Get keen.
Of course.
Get excited. This is episode 69.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there.
No comment.
Different setup so that we can still be in the same room, but be safe.
Yes.
To a certain extent.
Yeah, restrictions allow us to be in the same room.
Yes.
As long as we're not.
As long as we're socially distanced. So
Yes.
we are socially distanced and killing the game.
Oh, yeah.
Crushing it. We've done our best. But has my light already died?
It's gone,
It's already
yeah.
died. But sometimes our best is not good enough. So
Yeah.
this is what we got. Also, we are filming quite late in the afternoon. So do with that information what you will.
Yes.
Joe, do you want to say why we're filming so late in the afternoon?
I just slept a lot last night. Yeah.
It's a very serious workplace, clearly.
Yes.
We take our our
Start time.
our hours very seriously here.
But then we did a lot of stuff here before we started filming.
Did we?
Yeah, well, we did the thing outside.
True, actually,
We
yeah,
had
true.
lunch, and then we watched
Yeah.
the new episode of Loki.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've done a lot. Speaking of Loki, for the next 30 minutes we are going to talk about Loki, give or take.
Yes.
So if that's not something that you're interested in, or if that's something that you don't want to have spoiled about the latest episode because you haven't watched it yet, which it was almost a week ago by the time this comes out, just skip forward. Go to 30 minutes. It'll probably be like 28 minutes.
Yeah.
But by then we will definitely have stopped.
Yes.
I might put in a timestamp of when we finish, but no promises.
Yeah.
So we just watched the latest episode, which is episode 4.
Yeah.
Thoughts, go.
I said to you at the end, my mind is like flipped. It's just so much happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
it was just
mental,
a lot to
right?
take in. Yeah.
It's crazy. Such a crazy episode. And I had so many theories about so many things that just got flushed. Just got flushed.
Yeah.
I thought that that Sylvie, like the other Loki variant, was Enchantress from the comics. She's not, just a Loki variant. What else did I have that's not going to work now? I had a bunch of stuff. The on the planet. I thought that that whole thing on the planet was Loki enchanting her, and that was all like in her head.
That would have been cool.
Because she enchanted him at the start and like tried to enchant him, but it didn't work.
Yeah.
I thought that was like because Loki
Was
enchanted her. That would have been really cool. Not the case.
No.
Would have been sick though.
Yeah.
Totally called that he was gonna fall in love with her though.
Really?
Totally called it.
I didn't see that.
Biggest
coming.
narcissist on the planet. Oh man, do you have any theories though?
I mean, I have some theories about
Yeah.
like the TVA now.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't really know because again, from that episode, they just sort of like shook them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, particularly with the end of the episode and where you saw the timekeepers,
Yeah.
and we found out that they're not real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Like what?
Crazy. Oh, actually, before we continue, if you haven't seen it yet, there is a mid-credit scene.
Yes.
So go watch
you
that.
have to watch that. Yeah.
It's necessary.
Yeah.
Anyway, carry on. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. One of the biggest things that I have is like how quickly it's moving.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. I don't think I've ever seen a show like this that like develops this quickly.
Yeah, like we've already easily gone through like 2 seasons of story.
Yeah.
And it's just like boom, boom, boom. And
Yeah.
I think it's the first time with something like this where I don't feel like it's rushed.
Yeah.
Like it feels like a really good pace that it's going. So I really like it.
Yeah.
But have you got any theories now for oncoming?
Well, the one that you said at the end of the mid, talking about the mid-credit scene.
Yeah.
With you said you reckon that they're all Loki variants.
Yeah.
So does that mean you think that like Mobius got sent there as well?
Yeah, I think that that's just like the dumping timeline.
Or did Mobius get sent to where...
All the other Mobiuses are.
Yeah, or the other Mobius variants are.
Oh, that'd be really cool.
I think that might be what happened.
Yeah, okay. So maybe it is all just like, it's like personalized. It's like all your variants.
And it's like, because the first time, maybe it's the first time that Loki could have become a variant was when he wins the battle in the first Avengers.
Yeah.
And so that's where they dump them, is in a timeline.
Well, no, that's not
where
true though,
they
because Sylvie was taken at 10. So it can't be that.
Oh. No, but then does Sylvie get dumped in her timeline when she's 10?
Probably
If
not.
she had stayed there.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I do think that it's just like, I think you're right. I think it's their personalized timeline, and I think they just dump them into whatever timeline is like irreparable. So like,
Yeah. Well, it means they haven't reset that timeline.
yeah. So my theory for that timeline that they dumped the Lokis into is that it's the end of it's Avengers, the first Avengers movie, if the Avengers didn't win. So either the Avengers are dead or in hiding, and it's like a ruined, rubbled New York.
Yep.
That's my theory.
Yeah, okay.
But whether it's just Loki's there or whether it's all different kinds of variants, I think it would make sense if it was all the variants, because then you immediately have Mobius back in play as well.
Yeah, I don't reckon.
You don't reckon?
I reckon Mobius will be in one with all the Mobiuses.
And then it'll just be him like trying to convince all the other Mobiuses like what's happened.
Yeah. Well, I reckon they'll all know.
Well, no, because
Oh, maybe not. Well,
because Mobius is a variant. So the only one of them that got through to the TVA as like an actual person is this Mobius. But maybe there's been a bunch of Mobiuses that have worked at the TVA.
for the TVA, yeah.
And that's why actually
Wait,
maybe
does that mean there's different TVAs?
maybe there's no.
No.
It's just the one.
Just the one?
Maybe there's got to be just
No.
one, because otherwise they would have met other TVA people.
Yeah.
But my theory is that Mobius, there's a bunch of different Mobiuses that are working at the TVA, and that's why she has all of these like trophies, and why she can say that like Mobius is her favorite, because all of her detectives are Mobiuses.
Mobius.
And that's why like in, I think it's like episode 2, he like puts his drink on the table and there's all the rings on the table, and she says that it's all from him, but he's like, I didn't do that.
Huh.
So maybe there's a bunch of
They're all
Mobiuses. That'd be sick.
That would be sick.
And that's how they all end up in their little alternate prune world.
Yeah. Because they all find out.
Yeah. They all find out eventually.
Damn.
And maybe that's why she knew immediately as well that it wasn't an accident that he took the Tempad. Because like any normal person would have just been like, oh, haha, accident, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But she was like,
He
bruh,
knows.
like, prune him.
Yeah.
Because he clearly knows too much.
And she clearly wasn't that close with him.
No. Like, it was like she had a weird relationship where she, like, felt closer than she was with this one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you reckon there'll be an episode? You know how some shows they do an episode like just focused on a side character?
No, I don't think so. I think we already got that episode this season with Loki and Sylvie on the planet. I think that was our, like...
But Loki's the main character.
Yeah, but I think that was our kind of, like, single focus episode, because all the other
okay.
ones have kind of bopped around.
Yeah.
But it's only a 6-episode season.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so, like, we have 2 more
only have
episodes
2.
until it's finished. So there's no way that we can have, like...
Another one.
Another one, yeah. Like, it'll literally be, like, next week's going to be... like how they all get back, and then the big finale is going to be them dismantling the TVA,
Yeah.
which is crazy.
Yeah, insane.
In like, which I mean, when you think about it, we've already watched 2 movies worth. So like, it does make sense. It's the same pacing as like a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
It's just split up into episodes.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. Like, that's logical. But man,
insane.
Yeah. But in continuation,
Yeah.
I think that this is going to be how they do all the multiverse stuff for all the upcoming Marvel stuff.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Because we've got so many multiverse movies coming up now. Like, we've got the Doctor Strange movie, which is like, I think it's called Multiverse of Madness. And then you've got the Ant-Man and the Wasp movie, which is set in the quantum realm. Then you've got WandaVision, which ended with, like, alternate reality, like, little... Maybe there's alternate realities in there. So, like, we've already setting up a bunch of stuff for multiverse things. And they kind of have to, because they need to bring in so many characters over the next phase. Like, they have to bring in Fantastic Four. They have to bring in, like, Shang-Chi. They have to bring in a bunch of, like, characters that they've missed over the, like, previous runs. So they have to bring in the multiverse soon. And I think it's going to be at the end of this. I think they're
Like
going
in 2 episodes?
Yeah. I think they're going to break the TVA. And then everything's
Open
just
the
going to
multiverse.
split, and it's just going to open into all the multiverses. Because that's what Sylvie did in, like, episode 2, where she dropped all those time bombs and, like, put out all of those, like, multiverses. I think that's already done. Like, that's all out there. And they haven't fixed that yet. I don't think they've fixed that yet. So I think those are
they
all...
kind of just left that. How did they... Wait, what did they do with that? I don't remember now.
They haven't. They haven't said
They
anything
didn't
about
do
it.
anything.
So either they just, like, have fixed it off screen, or something much bigger is at play that we haven't seen yet.
So does that mean do you reckon the timekeepers are actually... Well, like, there are no timekeepers.
No. So
No.
who's running the timekeepers? That's the next big question.
Yeah.
Who is actually running the TVA?
So do you reckon they're actually, like, good? They're actually trying to keep,
Can I tell
order?
you my theory?
Yeah.
So we already have it confirmed that Kang the Conqueror, mostly confirmed that Kang the Conqueror is going to be the next big Phase 4 MCU villain.
Yeah.
He's going to be like the next Thanos, I think.
Right.
And so he's a super cool character. But my thinking is that this is how they're going to bring him in. And I think that he is running the TVA. And the supreme timeline, or whatever it is, isn't the actual perfect timeline. It's the timeline that ends with him in power.
Oh.
That's my thinking.
That's a cool theory.
That's my theory. And that's a game theory.
That's sick. That would be awesome if
Yeah.
that...
So I think that's going to be the big reveal, is that
It's
this
the
whole
one that he
sacred
wins.
timeline is just a one-stop train to Kangland,
Right.
which would be super sick. And from what I vaguely understand, Ravana, the boss lady, in the comics, she's like Kang's love interest /
I was going to say, she have to have a big
Ulterior.
role in
Yeah.
this. Because she's not dead yet.
No. So I think that she's a lot more important in the show than we know so far. But also, that's all comic stuff, so not all of that will come over.
Yeah.
But that is my prediction for the final episode, is that we're going to find out that this is all leading towards Kang.
Yeah.
And then we see him right at the end. And then that's... Because this is... I'm pretty sure this is the last show until the next movie.
Right.
I don't think there's any other Marvel shows slated.
Are they going to do another season?
They're all one-offs. All of
Oh,
these shows.
that's so
They're all
sad.
one seasons.
Oh. I want more Loki.
But I think Loki's going to come back to the main timeline.
Right, okay.
I think they're all going to come back to the main timeline. I think
Yeah.
Mobius is going to become a main character as well. Otherwise,
You
why
reckon?
would you hire Owen Wilson?
That is true.
Like, you can't hire Owen Wilson and then just dump him after 6 episodes.
That is still like 6 hours worth of...
Yeah, true. It's like a full movie, but you get my point. Like,
Well, 3 movies.
Yeah. Yeah. But, yeah, that's my big theory, is that it's going to be Kang at the end, and he's like the person running the TVA, and he's the person telling the androids what to say.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm.
Which I think makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense.
And it would set up all the rest of the stuff, because then you've already got the multiverse stuff set up for the Doctor Strange movie.
You've already got the villain introduced
Yeah.
for the Ant-Man and Wasp.
Yeah. And then Ant-Man and Wasp in that movie could stumble upon the ruins of the TVA in the quantum realm.
Yeah. Or would it be like even more messed up and they actually are working in, like they're actually doing things in the TVA now in the Loki show, like in that time. And we don't know.
Yeah. And it all just doubles back.
Yeah.
That'd be sick.
And they're like watching Loki. I don't know.
And that's how they bring him back into the main show, into the main movies, mainline.
Yeah.
Movies. That'd be really cool.
How cool would that be?
Man,
That'd be sick.
this whole show is just like my brain feels like a ping pong table.
Yeah.
It's like yeah, literally. That's what my
Yeah.
brain feels like
Yeah.
all the time now.
So much going on.
Yeah. Also, I had to turn on subtitles for the I usually listen with subtitles. I usually watch shows with subtitles, but I had to like properly pay attention to the subtitles for the timekeepers because they're all just like
Yeah, they were hard to understand.
But the other sound effects were sick.
Oh, the sound design is amazing.
Go on, talk about sound design for a second.
It's just amazing.
I'm gonna grab my phone quickly.
Okay. I don't know, all of it. It's just there's so much more detail than there is normally in shows, I find. Yeah, like as you said before, it's like 6 little movies. You know, normally they don't have a big enough budget to do this kind of stuff with.
Yeah, because normally the reason
shows.
they'll make it a TV show is because they have a lower budget.
Yeah. And then it doesn't look or sound as good.
Yeah.
And the soundtrack?
Oh, it's so good. Actually, on that though, when I saw the timekeepers for the first time, I was a little bit disappointed because I was like, they look not great. It's like they look a bit yucky. And then they were like, they're androids. And I was like, okay, I'm okay with that
Yeah.
now. Like, clearly that was intentional.
Yeah, they didn't look... Yeah, they look
Yeah.
like, Star Wars.
Yeah. Yeah. But, yeah, talk about the soundtrack. Sorry.
Oh, I don't know. It just blew my mind.
It's really good.
It is so
I'm
good.
really enjoying it.
Yeah.
Do you remember what I said in the first episode about how, like, if that's the first twist, like the reveal that Sylvie is, like, that, no,
They're
that
tracking.
Loki is the other variant that they're tracking.
Yeah.
And then the next twist was that it's Sylvie.
Mm.
And then the next twist is that the timekeepers aren't real. What the hell is going to be the episode 6 twist?
Yeah. Well,
'Cause-
what was the episode 3 twist?
Episode 3 twist was them on the planet. The episode 3
Oh.
twist was,
Just they're going to die.
yeah, just, rip.
Yeah.
I did think that was kind of a cop-out, how they got out.
Mm.
Like with the TVA coming to just get them. Like, I get it. I get that they made a Nexus event and that's how they got pulled out.
Yeah.
But you could have come up with something cooler, I think.
Well, what do you reckon? What defines cooler for you in that situation?
I mean, I would have really enjoyed it if it was all Loki enchanting her.
Yeah.
I think that would have been really cool. And then, like, when he stops enchanting her, that's when something happens and the TVA comes and gets them.
Oh.
Rather than, like, them holding hands
Yeah.
is the Nexus event.
Yeah, that did seem a bit weird.
Yeah.
I
But-
don't know. Or even if they, like, found another ship or something.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't really mind. I don't hate it, is the point. I don't hate what they've done. It's just
No.
different.
Yeah.
But I'm really, really loving this show so far. I thought it'd be fun because I do this every time I watch a new episode of one of the Marvel shows, or really any big show. I started doing this for The Mandalorian, like in 2017 when that came out, or 2018. And
Is that 2018?
yeah, I think so.
Mandalorian?
Let me check.
Jeez. That makes me feel old.
No, sorry, 2019 was season 1.
Yeah, okay.
Came out December 19. I go onto the Reddit page for that specific show, and almost every time there's like a discussion thread, and you can go through and like read what other people have been saying, and some of them are really funny, some of them are like discussion points, and so I thought we have like 10 minutes left until
Yep.
we have to talk about something else. But I thought it'd be fun to go through and have a look at some of these. So the first one that I wanted to talk about was people are discussing Sylvie's Nexus event and trying to figure out what it is. what do you think was her Nexus event?
Oh yeah. We spoke a little bit about this when we were watching it.
Yeah.
We thought it was because she was a girl,
Yeah.
but then now when I look at like the mid-credit scene and like all the different Lokis, if that's who they are,
Yeah.
like it doesn't really make sense.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
one. So I don't know.
So I read this while we were watching the show, and I think this makes a lot of sense. What people are thinking is that it's because she doesn't desire power, whereas Loki did. So that was around the same age that Loki was told that him and Thor were supposed to be kings. So it would make sense if that was that was the moment where she decided that she didn't want to have power, and that derailed the whole thing.
Right.
So it wasn't that she was a woman, but it was that. And then someone's written out a longer one, so I'll just read this. This is from, I'm going to try and read out their Reddit name. 1_weg_1_dar_1.
Right.
So they've written, Odin's long-term plan for male Loki and Thor was for them to both become kings of their respective people, uniting Jotunheim and Asgard forever. Odin's plan for a female Loki and Thor was probably to achieve the same goal by setting her and Thor up, hoping the Jotuns would be more open to diplomacy if the Queen of Asgard was one of them. This different approach would have eventually led to a Nexus event, probably when the TVA finally noticed that the usual rivalry between Loki and Thor was failing to form. Which is really interesting. So I think that's a really good point.
But then how would she get pulled when she was like 10?
Well, I think that probably would have been the moment that she went, I don't want to have power.
Yeah.
So.
But like, I'm just saying that, does that one make sense?
I think so, yeah. Because they probably would have just had a conversation about like, you're going to marry Thor. And she went, I don't want to marry Thor. Because she's 10.
Or she could have said, I do want to marry Thor, but she doesn't want to like fight him.
Yeah.
Like Loki did.
Yeah. I think that's really interesting. What's the next one? Oh, this is the one that they were talking about. Being pruned doesn't actually kill you. We've talked about that a little bit, but I think it's really interesting. There's a massive reveal.
What?
That it doesn't kill you.
Yeah.
Like, what? Oh, this one's interesting. People are talking about B-15 finding the truth by herself. Because no one else told her. Like when she enchanted her, she got the memories back. But like no one has been like, you're a variant. She's figured that out herself, and then got Sylvie to prove it to her.
Yeah,
which I think is really interesting. And then what a lot of people are saying is that her flipping is what scared Ravonna the most, because she's like one of the most loyal soldiers that she has, and if she can be flipped with the knowledge that she's a variant, then that's enough to topple the TVA.
Yeah.
Effectively, immediately. So, yeah.
Yes.
Very interesting.
Is B-15 dead now?
B-15? No. She just got knocked out. We don't know what happened to her.
So, do you reckon she's going to come back and have a role?
I think she's going to be really important later.
Because Sylvie and... What was the other?
Ravonna.
Ravonna, that's right. I reckon they'll end up going somewhere together, and B-15 will have a big role by herself in the TVA.
Yeah, in like toppling the TVA. Yeah, I agree. I think that's a really good point. This one's talking about the like mid-credit scene. So they've written, it seems like they're in a pruned timeline where the Avengers failed, meaning the Avengers are probably dead or in hiding. Why all Lokis end up in the same timeline is yet to be revealed. It must be significant if it's one they keep around as the trash bin timeline. But if that's what it is, then Mobius must be there as well. Maybe the sacred timeline is itself a branch of that original timeline, and that's why it can't be pruned. And one of the major Nexus events is the success of the Avengers, which somehow lays the foundation for whatever is at the head of the TVA. So, that's pretty funky. All right, last one. Oh, actually no, second last one. So so interesting that they have finally talked about vampires in the MCU.
Yes, you mentioned
It was one throwaway line, but
Yeah, they've
hectic. They've never brought it up before.
no
And they've just gone, blip, vampires.
vampires.
I think that's really cool. So hopefully that'll end up with... I think they're doing a Blade reboot with Mahershala Ali, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, they're filming it in 22.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so they're making a... Okay, cool. Never mind. Question answered. They're doing a Blade movie.
Right.
And last thing. I said this right before we started filming. Owen Wilson is loving this role.
Yes.
That man is having the time of his life.
Yep.
And I feel like it really, really showed in his monologue where he was like, the "you're a narcissist" monologue, where he's saying that he fell in love with Sylvie.
Mm-hmm.
He's loving
Having
it.
a great time.
Every second of it. You can see it in his eyes. He's just having such a good time. I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy for that man that he's found a job that's genuinely really fun. I feel like being in a Marvel movie would be a really fun job for an actor.
I was gonna say, imagine like having watched this whole MCU become, go through the whole Thanos thing.
Yeah.
And now being asked to like, can you come do this?
Yeah,
For us?
Absolutely. I would not think twice.
No.
And as an extension of that, having the actress who's playing Sylvie, Sophia D'Amato, I think her name is, completely unknown actress before now.
Yeah.
She's done a couple plays, she's done a bit of voiceover work, but other than that, nothing.
Yeah.
And she got through the casting call in like 2019, couldn't talk about it for 2 years until it came out. And then no one knew that she was in it until it came out. Like she was saying that like her friends and family didn't know.
Really?
Until like her close family would have known. But like her friends and stuff didn't know that she was in it until like the show came out.
That's insane.
And so she's just immediately gone from this like nobody to this massive star, which is what Marvel's been doing for years now.
Yeah.
Like it's really interesting. If you go back to, I think it's when they were casting for Thor. There's a bunch of articles from like 2007 or 2008 where it's like young Marvel cast young unknown actors as Thor and Loki, and it's Chris Hemsworth and Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah,
and then they've gone on to have these massive, crazy careers over the years. So just a massive kickstart for your career. So I really like Sophie D'Amato is an amazing actress. So she's gonna kill it over the next couple of years, and I really hope they get her into some of the mainline movies.
That'd be sick.
If Sylvie becomes a mainline character, oh boy, that would be so sick. That'd be so cool.
Well, surely they do that in multiverse stuff.
Yeah, I'd hope so.
Like the last movie in this phase will be like...
It's the last movie in this phase is the Fantastic Four movie.
Oh.
There's no team up movie in phase 4.
Oh.
It's really interesting. This is the first phase that doesn't have a team up movie.
Right.
Yeah, so you've got...
Unless they're not telling us that phase...
I think Fantastic Four is going to be a team up movie.
I was going to say, will be multiverse.
Yeah. Because you've got Black Widow coming out in like a week, I think.
I'm so keen for that.
It's going to be so good. Should we go see it?
Yeah.
All right, done. Yeah, Black Widow's coming out in like a week, and then you've got Shang-Chi coming out, which is going to be so dope.
Yeah.
The new trailer came out. And
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, dude, Abomination is back from the first Hulk movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
They're back. That's great. Like
that's sick.
Like suddenly the first Hulk movie actually matters.
Yeah.
So then you've got Shang-Chi coming. You've got the new Doctor Strange movie. Then you've got Blade coming.
Mm-hmm.
Then you've got the Fantastic Four movie. There's heaps of stuff. I'm definitely missing some. Let me have a look. I'm gonna find them all. I'm hype. I was really worried that I wouldn't be excited about Phase 4 because I was like, whatever. But
yeah, especially after like Endgame.
Yeah, I was like, am I going
like,
to care about these characters anymore?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, but I think these shows have really helped me care.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. Okay, so we're still getting a bunch of stuff. Hold on, let me find the actual lineup. All I've got is pictures, and I don't want pictures. Okay, so for films, Black Widow, Shang-Chi, the Eternals movie.
Oh, yes.
Which is going to be cool. The new Spider-Man movie, Doctor Strange, Thor Love and Thunder, Black Panther, the new one.
Ooh.
The Marvels, which will be the new Captain Marvel movie, which should be sick.
Mm-hmm.
The Ant-Man movie, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Blade, and then Fantastic Four.
Is that this phase?
That's this phase.
Whoa.
Yeah. And then for TV, we've got the What If show as well. So that's not really mainline. That'll be like, I think that's an animated show. Yeah, I think that's if Peggy Carter was Captain America. So that should be cool. But that's not mainline.
Very cool, actually.
And then we're getting a Ms. Marvel show as well.
Oh.
Not Captain Marvel, Ms. Marvel. The
Who's that?
That's the one with where she can like grow her fists and stuff, and she looks a bit goofy.
Oh, I don't think I know that.
You don't think you know that one?
No.
It's really cool. I actually really like that character. So we actually we have a bunch of shows coming. Hold on. Okay, so never mind. Bunch of shows coming. Ms. Marvel is coming out this year. The Hawkeye show is coming out this year.
Oh, I'm keen for that too.
Then we're getting the Moon Knight show next year. She-Hulk, Secret Invasion.
Oh, She-Hulk's coming.
Yeah, then we've got Ironheart, Armor Wars. Yeah. Ironheart is the new Iron Man. So it's like this. It's really cool. It's this this girl Riri Williams, and she's like 16, and she becomes the next Iron Man. She's the current Iron Man in the comics.
Oh,
it's really cool.
That's cool.
And then the I Am Groot show.
The I Am Groot show.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's called I Am Groot.
Disney are doing. This is insane.
Yeah, they're crushing it. I'm stoked.
So Marvel Studios obviously still separate to Disney.
Yeah, the studio, but
The
like,
studios
they're owned
by
Disney.
Disney.
Yeah.
I was gonna say what like that must be all that Disney can do.
Oh
surely.
yeah, they're just like.
But no, if they're separate.
Yeah, I mean they do have a lot of people. To be fair.
Mm.
Oh, and then no, there is an Avengers movie, but I don't think that's in this. This
phase.
This phase, that you got to get the Secret Wars movie, but I don't think that's officially announced yet.
Right.
I'm so stoked though.
Yeah.
I'm so stoked. I'll show you a picture of Ironheart. Because it is really cool. And it's a whole new like suit design.
So wait, where does like, oh yeah,
I don't know if that'll show on camera, but
where does like Into the Spideyverse fit in this?
Into the Spider-Verse isn't Marvel, unfortunately.
No, okay, I didn't think so.
That's a Sony like spin-off thing.
Right.
Same as Venom. Venom is also a spin-off thing.
That makes sense.
But I think they were acquired by Disney. So
I told you this.
You did.
Ages ago. I said, Disney's going to buy Sony next.
Yeah, let me check. I'm going to Google it. Did Disney buy?
Because as soon as
Sony.
Disney lost Spider-Man, I said the next thing Disney will buy will be Sony.
Yeah. Oh, okay. No, that's never mind. No, hold on, wait.
Sad.
No, they haven't bought it yet.
No, they will.
They will. It'll happen.
Yeah.
Only because they'll want Venom.
You reckon as well?
I reckon they'll want Venom. I don't think Into the Spider-Verse will matter because I think they're going to do multiverse stuff anyway. I think Miles will be in Phase 4. They've already teased it.
Yeah.
Because Donald Glover was in the first in Spider-Man Homecoming as Uncle Aaron.
Oh.
Because he was the guy that was getting the groceries and that Spider-Man like webbed to the car.
Wait, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
You'll have to just watch it again. It's 100% him.
Which one?
The first Spider-Man movie.
Spider-Man
Homecoming. I'll show you.
I'm trying to think.
That scene.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So that's him. That's Aaron Davis. And then obviously Aaron Davis's nephew is Miles Morales. So it's already it's already in there. It's just not official yet.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be Phase 5. I think Phase 5 will be Miles.
Right.
And I think with all the multiverse stuff, they'll be able to pull him out. And he'll be there.
Just pop into mainstream movie, you reckon?
Yeah. Be so sick.
So sick.
I'm so stoked for this phase. I was genuinely really worried that I wasn't going to care,
Yeah.
but I care so much.
Yeah, I can't wait. I know we're still talking about Marvel, and I think we're just gonna keep talking about it for a little while here.
Yeah.
But I finished the. I just want to talk about Spider-Man now for a little bit. I finished the Spider-Man game.
Oh,
I don't know if I told you that.
Yeah, no, you didn't tell me that.
Oh, well, I finished it.
Hell yeah.
And like it's crazy what they've done. I've learnt a little bit about. I don't remember the correct like terminology for it, but when they use different platforms to like continue the same story.
Yeah.
As in like what they've done with like the first two games, well, the first Spider-Man game, and then it sort of leads into like the Into Spider-Verse movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
I don't really know where I was going with this.
Okay. What did you think of the Spider-Man game then?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I thought it was awesome.
Yeah. Have you started replaying it yet?
No.
Okay. I finished it. Same day I restarted it.
I don't think I will restart it.
All right, fair. Next up, you got to play
the second one. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you? You're playing it?
No, but I would.
You have to. You don't have a choice.
I'm actually like bored now with games because I finished it. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. I had that as well. I have that. I play a game that's so good and then nothing else compares and I get really sad.
Yeah.
Like I had that with Spider-Man. I had that with Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, what?
Red Dead's
What do I do now?
my next game.
Okay, good.
I'm gonna probably buy it like tomorrow. So
Hell yeah. That'll be so good. You're going to love it.
mm-hmm.
You're going to love it. We've talked about it a lot. We don't have to
Yes.
keep talking about
No.
it. Do you want to talk about Marvel anymore or?
Oh, we probably better stop here.
All right.
We could keep going on forever.
We could. Absolutely. Because massive nerd.
Mm-hmm.
Massive nerd.
Just so excited.
Do you remember what you wanted to talk about at the end of last week's episode?
Yes.
Do you want to talk about
it?
It
wasn't big. Actually, speaking of Spider-Man, it was about animation.
Oh, sick.
Great segue. I don't remember what made me think about all this now because it was last week I was going to talk about it, but thinking about like how long it takes to render an animation, particularly with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, because isn't Miles like animated on at a different frame rate
Yeah, Miles is animated on 2s.
and everything else is 1?
Animated on 1s, yeah.
Yeah. So until a certain point in the movie, right?
Until Miles is comfortable in his abilities, yeah, then he's animated in 24.
Yeah.
So throughout the first half of the movie, Miles is animated at 12 frames per second, where the rest of the world is animated at 24.
Yeah. And so initially I was like, would that take so much longer to render? But yeah, now that you showed me the video of that Noodle explains it all,
Yeah.
it's a bit like, oh no, that wouldn't take any longer. But it still got me researching a little bit. And I found this little
Little nubbin.
yeah, little quote from a Pixar scientist, it says. So
Is this the Monsters Inc. one?
kind of, yeah.
Okay.
It explains all of it though. Oh,
Okay.
it's not very long. But so this is the question. Like, I'm a little confused on the whole rendering process. They said it takes at least around 24 hours to render one frame.
Yeah.
And that there are 24 frames in a second. If you take a 100-minute movie, then it would take around 400 years to render that many frames. I understand that they would have many machines, but even with 400 machines, this would still take a year just to render. My best guess is that they have around that many machines or maybe more, and they render as they go, so they don't have to wait a year after finishing the movie to render. But I would appreciate a little more explanation. And so this is what the scientist said. Pixar has a huge render farm, is what they call it.
I've talked about this before.
I think you might have.
Yeah. Anyway, carry on. It was ages ago.
It was a long time ago. Which is basically a supercomputer composed of 2,000 machines and 24,000 cores. This makes it one of the 25 largest supercomputers in the world. That said, with all the computing power, it still took 2 years to render Monsters University.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's mental. Yeah.
And they render as they go. That's the other thing that's crazy. Like with a movie, Marvel, for example, the first Avengers, where they went back after the premiere and filmed another scene.
Yeah.
Like, you can't really do that in this one. If you stuff something up, it's like, it's there.
Yeah.
You'd have to start again and render it again.
Well, no, because it's per scene. You can cut out a scene and put in another one. Like,
Well, yeah, you'd have to render it again, though.
yeah,
and
you'd
it
have
would
to
take
re-render
like,
that. A week,
yeah,
2 weeks.
which is a lot of money.
That is a lot of money. That's a lot of money. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy how much animation takes.
Yeah.
I really love, I know we've talked about Noodle a little bit already, but his video on interpolation and stuff is so interesting.
Yeah. I rewatched that video.
I rewatch them regularly.
Yeah.
I've rewatched most of his videos. But the interpolation one specifically is so interesting because you do see when someone interpolates an animation from 24 to 60 and you go, wow, that looks really cool.
Yeah.
But then the second you like stop and look at it, it all falls apart.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's so interesting because I don't think I've ever seen anything like that before
No.
where it all falls apart immediately.
Yeah.
I really like it.
It is very interesting.
And it gives me a lot more respect for animators. Not that I didn't respect them before, but just like things like the Into the Spider-Verse thing where it's Miles is animated on 2s, whereas everyone else is animated at 24. I think that's so cool because
Yeah.
you don't notice it
No.
unless you look for it.
Yeah.
Unless you're specifically like trying to see it. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And that's my favorite thing about the in the Miles Morales game. They have the Into the
Yeah.
Spider-Verse suit. And there's an optional thing that you can have with that suit where it animates you in 2s.
Like that's insane.
How do you render that in a game? Like, it's crazy. It's like they're just chopping every second. Actually, that's probably how they're doing it. They're probably just chopping every second frame.
oh.
Never mind. That makes sense.
Well, they're just holding every frame
Yeah.
for 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then how do you convert that onto like the PS5 where the game runs at 60?
Yeah.
Are you doing 3s then?
But does every game run at 60 or do you have to tell it to run at 60?
Every game runs at 60 on
on
PS5. I don't know. I don't know how it works. If anyone knows, that'd be great. I'd like to know.
Can you play that game on PS5? Sure.
It's a PS5 launch title.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. And the difference between it on PS5 and PS4 is remarkably noticeable.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like, poor.
I think I remember your PlayStation crashing.
Yeah, it
a
crashed
couple of times.
It crashed a couple of times. I've watched some comparison videos of like the PS4 and PS5 versions, and it's noticeable. It's
Wow.
really interesting because you look at it on PS4 and you go, "Wow, that looks really good," and then you see it on the PS5 and you go, "Wow, mine looks like crap." Oh, actually, speaking of looking like crap, no. Speaking of games, I finally started playing Resident Evil.
Yes.
And it is probably one of the best gaming decisions I've ever made.
Really?
It was fantastic, and I
Oh.
loved every second of it.
There you go.
So, if you don't know, Resident Evil is like a survival horror franchise, and they are very well known for having some very, very good games and some very, very bad games.
Right.
And really, what the general consensus is that 2, 4, 7, and 8 are the ones worth playing. Everything else, it's fine.
Yeah, okay.
You can play it if you're super invested, but other than that, don't worry about it too much. Anyway, Resident Evil has just brought out a new one, Resident Evil 8, which is a sequel to Resident Evil 7. And Resident Evil 8 is currently $90, so I said no thank you. And I bought Resident Evil 7 for like $15 because it's like on summer sale at the moment, which is sick.
Yeah.
Played it. It took me like somewhere around 8 or 9 hours, so it's not super long, but it is probably the most fun I've had in a game in a very long time.
Really?
Yeah, like probably since Spider-Man.
Wow.
So I don't love horror games. I used to when I was younger. I used to love horror games.
Yeah.
But then as I've gotten older, they've gotten too serious for me. Like it's like they're like too gritty and realistic, and I'm like, I don't care. Like
Yeah.
I don't get scared anymore. I just want to have fun.
Right.
And they always try to get the jump scares, and the jump scares just don't do it for me.
Right.
Like I have the same thing with horror movies. I don't like jump scares in horror movies. I like really tense, like dread horror movies, like Jaws, where you don't actually get jump scared. It's just incredibly tense. Same thing with A Quiet Place. Like there's almost no jump scares. It's just so tense the whole time that you're just like...
the suction cup to the seat.
Yeah, because my butthole is so clenched. But Resident Evil 7 is the best example of that.
Really?
Because it's I was like immediately sucked into this game. I've been playing it at night, so I've been playing it like around like 6 till 10.
It didn't take you very long to finish it either.
No, it took me a couple days. It's only 9 hours. Like I was doing like 2 hours a night, and then I was done.
Right.
But it was really, really good.
Yeah.
So basically, like, it opens with you getting a message from your girlfriend who's been gone for 3 years, and it basically says like, "I'm still alive, but don't come for me. Just live your life," basically. And the protagonist, and it's great because the protagonist is just a guy. Like he's just a guy. There's nothing special about him. Right. Like he literally works in IT. He's just some dude. But he goes and like tries to get his girlfriend, and you go into this like house, and the first hour of the game, nothing happens. Like you're just walking around this house, like uncovering the mysteries of the house, but it's so tense the whole time.
Yeah.
Because every corner you come around, you think there's going to be something there, because you're like finding all this stuff. Like you're finding like human remains and like food that's left behind that's clearly just been touched, and like these news articles everywhere where it's like people missing, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And then after like an hour, you finally like get attacked, and like you find your girlfriend like in the basement, and I won't spoil anything else, but it's so well done. It builds up the atmosphere so well. Yeah. And it's genuinely really tense. But then on the flip side of that, it's also just really fun and campy, because the character is so normal and not special at all. His reactions are the exact same as yours. Like you'll be playing, and like there's one moment in a review that I watched where your girlfriend's name is Mia. And he's like walking around. You're like walking around the house trying to find her, and he goes like he's walking around, and he goes, "Mia, where are you?" And then the character in the game says the exact same thing, like straight after. And it's also things like, you get like scared by something, and then your character will be like, "What the?" Like it's just the exact same as you in the moment. Yeah, which is so fun. And then as the game progresses, you get more powerful and you have more ammunition and stuff. But some of the boss fights and stuff are genuinely terrifying.
Oh, really?
Like there's this one boss fight where this chick turns into like all her limbs get extra long, and she's like scuttling around the room and like on the roof and like, and it's gross. And it's like the hardest fight in the game because she's so buff and moves so fast. But yeah, super, super fun. So I'm psyched to play more Resident Evil games.
Yeah, you have to play number 8 now.
Yeah, so, well, I bought Resident Evil 2, the remake.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to play that next. And then hope I can get 8 for a cheaper price eventually. But I'm very invested.
You're hooked.
I'm proper hooked. I'll have to get you to play, like, the first little bit tonight.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not a big fan of horror games.
It's fun. It's not like a proper horror game. I wouldn't call it a horror game. Okay. I call it's definitely more survival than horror. Right. But it's cool. It's really cool. Either way, we're going to play Halo.
Yes, we are. We're going to finish the first one?
We probably could.
I'm fine with that.
We genuinely probably could. All right, do you have anything else you want to finish on?
Yeah, real quick. I found something...
It doesn't have to be real quick. We have like 10 minutes.
Oh, well, I found out something very interesting this week. And it blew my mind a little bit. It's about Disney. So this episode has had very Disney theme focus, which is great. But specifically about Disneyland.
Yes.
And the colors that they use, like the colors that they paint things. Yeah, this is super like left field compared to everything we've talked about. But I found out that they paint like all the things that are, not in this like fantasy world. They paint them a very specific color.
I saw this.
Did you hear about this?
Yeah.
Too? Yeah.
What's it called? It's called like
it's called Go Away Green. Or
yeah,
something like
that's
that.
it.
Yeah.
I did see that. I thought that was
Yeah,
so
Go Away
interesting.
Green. Yeah. How interesting is it? So they paint. Yeah. They've tried to make this like real world in Disneyland, and where it's like super fantasy, and that's why all the kids are like, wow, when you go in, because it's like you've walked into a different dimension sort of thing. But yeah, so they paint all like the bins, and like another specific one is the they have like speaker towers.
Yeah.
Yep, they paint them all this Go Away Green, and it's like, I don't know how well it's going to come up there, but that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you don't, it just goes through your brain basically.
yeah, and so like look at that photo.
Yeah,
and so
right.
it doesn't make everything like invisible, but it makes it. This is what I've read about it. It makes things really easy to ignore.
Yeah.
And so when you walk in, you just like completely ignore, that office building because it's this specific color, or that white post because, yeah.
That is so interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So
I love it.
I don't know. That was just a really random but super cool thing I found out this week.
Yeah.
But yeah, so look up Go Away Green. You can see what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But yes.
Yeah. All right. Let's finish up.
Yeah.
Happy quarantine episode. Woo.
Stay safe.
Stay safe. And
Even though this is hopefully post-lockdown.
hopefully. But get vaccinated. That's all I have to say.
Frank's alive.
I'm alive. I got vaccinated. I'm still sweet.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you so much for listening to or watching this episode of The Froe Show. That was episode 69. Joe, hit us with that social media.
Instagram at Froe Media and Twitter at the Froe Media.
And if you want to give us money, go to patreon.com/The Froe Show. And we will see you next week.
Woo!
Bye.
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 Nice.
I nailed that. I'm really proud of myself. I have to fade out. Oh no.
This is how we're going to fade out.
No, I got it.